The King Kong movies are one of, if not the most iconic movies to have ever come out of Hollywood. Whether it be by the 1933 movie by Marion Cooper and Ernest Schoedsack, the 2005 movie by Peter Jackson, or even the recent movies featuring Godzilla, everyone has heard of King Kong. Unfortunately, King Kong's iconic status has been overshadowed in the recent years due to movies being heavily criticized for being lifeless cash grabs that rely heavily on CGI to impress their audience while having a completely empty plot. And as a fan of both the King Kong and Godzilla universes, it hurts me to say this, but I kind of agree with that opinion. So to be frank, I didn't expect much out of this Kong survival game when I stumbled on it while browsing the Steam store. I know that games made from movies are often terrible, and what scared me the most is that this particular Kong game was based on the story of the more recent movies. But still, I chose to give it a go. And to not reveal too much, I think you'll be as surprised as I was to see that the game was unexpectedly good. It goes without saying that this video will have some spoilers, but if you're okay with that, grab some snacks, turn off the lights, get cozy, and enjoy the journey. The game welcomes us with an eerie menu, nothing really crazy to point out here, but I just wanted to show it to you because it'll be relevant later. After selecting our difficulty and setting it to normal, yes I know, I am not a pro gamer, we are shown a cutscene where David, the main character of the game, hears the news that Kong has attacked the city in which his daughter lives in. Like any good father, David decides to rush towards the city, going against the crowds of people fleeing, as depicted in the cinematic. While at the wheel, David gets distracted by the sight of Kong, which causes him to swerve and crash his Ford F-150. The crash marks the beginning of the game. After getting back on our feet, we are shown some basic tutorials, like A and D to move and space to climb up. Yeah, I know, nothing crazy. At first glance, the game runs really smoothly, although I did notice that the character was a bit slow to respond to the movement inputs, but I think that was an intentional choice by the developers. We then complete the rest of the tutorial, which is pretty basic. It includes crouching, climbing up and down ladders, and jumping across ledges. Yep, I know, still nothing crazy. We then have the first encounter of the game with Billy. The interaction is pretty straightforward. We give him a picture of our daughter Stacy to see if he can help us, but he tells us he hasn't seen her. And yeah, why would this random kid know where your daughter is, dude? Anyways, he tells us he will not move under any pretense as he is waiting for his father to rescue him, and he also tells us that Kong seemed very angry, to which we answer,
"Isn't he supposed to be the good one?"
Giving us a clear cue that something unusual is happening to Kong as he is not normally aggressive. We ask Billy one last time if he wants to join us, but he insists that he will be fine waiting for his father right here, which we reluctantly accept.
"Are you sure you'll be fine?"
Yes.
Okay.
Like any good adult, we honor his request. Shortly after, our path is blocked by those planks, which prompts us to pick up the first weapon of the game.
That pipe should do. It has to.
We clear the path and head out of that house through the sewers, where we encounter the first environmental dangers that we'll see during this game: fire and traps, which is when I understood why the developers chose to make David's movement a little bit sluggish. Next, we have our first encounter with Kong and the villains of this game.
I'm afraid the road's blocked, sir.
Afraid you'll scratch the car? How thoughtful. But you're not getting paid to think, are you? The orders were to deliver it to the bay ASAP. We don't have time for detours. There's a goddamn giant ape on the loose.
We notice a high-tech tablet fall out of the car, which we pick up as soon as Kong leaves the scene, presumably being what the villains needed to deliver to the bay ASAP.
O-R-C-A. Orca. And the symbol, Greek letter sigma, looks like a scanning device. Maybe a life science detector?
This device will display the game map, highlighting our current objectives and indicating areas that are currently inaccessible due to missing required items. We're also introduced to our first biosignal wave, which we'll need to collect in specific amount at each stage of the game to summon a Titan and progress to new levels.
That Sigma device registered a bioacoustic wave left by Kong. I should look for more spots like that.
This part of the game is basically a drawn-out tutorial setting up the story and showing us the controls. Soon after, we run into the big boss, Alan Jonah, telling his goons he desperately needs the tablet we just picked up. This explains why enemies will continuously pop up throughout our journey to fight us. Now, to be completely honest, the fighting style in this game is kind of clunky, but it has its charm. The slow movement response makes it so that you have to be a bit more strategic with hitting, blocking, and parrying, and you can't just win a fight by mashing buttons.
Why are you all so stubborn?
I just want to point out that the way the bodies ragdoll at times can be interesting and funny. For example, this time where I fell down the hole, or the way this enemy is stuck in this weird position. Moving along with the story, we head to Town Hall Square and make our way to Stacy's apartment to gather more clues about where she might be. After gathering another one of those green bio signal thingies, we call on Kong to clear the path for us. We then run into David, a drunk dude waving a gun around, and we just snatch the gun from him. We'll be able to use the gun to shoot locks off doors and obviously shoot enemies.
Never thought I could shoot someone.
After some more fighting and puzzle solving, we call on Kong yet another time to clear the path for us, but this time he seems to get distracted by some weird noise. Perhaps another Titan.
That's not exactly how I planned it.
After finally reaching Stacy's apartment, we find paperwork showing that she works at a vet clinic, something that surprises David. It's a bit odd considering he's supposed to be a good father and all, but doesn't even know where his own daughter works. I thought that was a bit weird. Anyways, we choose to head to the vet clinic to try to gather more clues on where she might be, and that's where the second chapter of the game begins, the spider chapter. At this point, I had played the game for several hours and chose to log off, but when I launched the game again, I was pleasantly surprised to find that the main menu screen had changed to a spider theme. A nice touch from the developers that added a bit of extra flair, if you know what I mean. This part of the game has us running around, collecting more Titan green signal thingies, and I'll spare you the details. It's a bunch of puzzle solving, like gathering parts to fix elevators and generators, fighting more enemies, fighting spiders, which is when I noticed something pretty funny or weird, but David says something every single time he kills a spider, which got a bit frustrating after a while.
Ugh, ew. Ugh, gross. That was gross. There's no end to them.
After defeating a horde of spiders, we make it to a room where we meet Anna, a paramedic saving a life.
I need a hand. Quick. Pick it up. You can put it down. He's gone.
Attempting to save a life. We tell her about Billy, the first person that we met on our journey, and she actually tells us off for leaving him alone, which is probably the first normal interaction that we've had in this game. After meeting Anna, we do a bunch more puzzles, and I thought this part was pretty cool. We get to see the Spider Titan in the back, which gives a lot more depth to this 2D platformer. It just makes the entire game experience more immersive, which I liked. Next is our interaction with Roy.
Someone's there. You're pretty banged up.
Maria?
No. Name's David. I'm no medic, but I'll patch you up. I mean, I'll try. It can't get much worse than this, right?
Nothing like some good old banter when someone's dying in front of you, David.
Please. I can't evacuate without her. Please.
Next to Roy's body, we found a sledgehammer, which will be the next weapon or utility tool that we'll acquire. The sledgehammer will allow us to break through walls and execute heavy attacks against enemies. 2 seconds after getting the sledgehammer off Roy's body, we found Maria, which is unfortunate but kind of comical since she was right there. Next, we are introduced to riot shield enemies, which is nice, you know, combat's mechanics are improving. Now we have to do a heavy attack to disarm them. That's, you know, interesting. After some more puzzles and platforming, we finally make it to the vet clinic, where everything seems normal until we found a secret lab. Like a super high-tech secret lab. Which was surprising to say the least.
I'm not an expert, but this place is no vet clinic.
We keep going to reach our 5th interaction of the game.
Are you okay? You're one of them. The mercenaries.
Mercenaries?
You did this, huh? You brought these monsters upon us? Your boss, Jonah. Everyone knows he had a hand in reviving that 3-headed monster. Enough. If you want my help, I need information. My daughter, Stacy. She's about your age.
Stacy Martin?
Yes. What was that?
Abaddon. We must hide before.
Shit!
After this interaction, we decide to head for Omsha, as she's the only person to have a lead on where our daughter might be.
She knows something. I need to find out where that monster took her. She's the only lead I've got.
To reach Omsha, we need to backtrack into the building we just were, but there's some turbulences, which causes elevators to break, and I thought that was a pretty clever way of making us replay the levels, but this time with a sledgehammer, so we can get through the new obstacles that are in our way. After backtracking all the way back to the beginning of the level, we call on Abaddon, the Titan Spider, so we can clear the webs in our way. After calling on him, the first boss battle of this game starts. Although it's not really a boss battle, it's just kind of running away from him. I don't know. Check it out.
The only way's up, I guess. The door's locked!
Now I thought this boss fight was really cool, but like I said, it was just kind of just running away from him. But what made it cool and enjoyable was firstly the graphics, the fact that the spider is so huge and it's just scary. You're there nervously trying to get away from this titan. And the other thing that was really nice about it is that respawn times were really quick, like half a second quick. So you could just die and restart and it just didn't feel like you were spending hours on a boss. You were just retrying it instantly. After the boss fight, we make it to the room where Omsha is held captive by the spider. We don't get to talk to her for too long, but she tells us that Stacy, our daughter, is in a secret base in the sewers, and she tells us to quickly grab the keycards off her neck before Abaddon grabs her and unalives her. That will be, you guessed it, the last time we run into her this game. As we make our way to the sewers, Abaddon ambushes us once again.
No, not this thing again! Unbelievable!
After successfully escaping the spider, we make our way to the sewer entrance indicated on our maps, where we get to witness a pretty sick interaction with Kong and Abaddon.
This is the right place, but I see no sewer entrance. Maybe I could make one.
Next, we proceed through the sewers, where it's honestly nothing special. It's just a classic sewer level in a video game. We get into one of the secret bases of the villains. We see them practice shooting. We go through the whole base. We do a couple puzzles. Really nothing special until we have this interaction with Alan.
Sit rep.
Sir, we've detected an unauthorized entry on the upper levels. It may just be a malfunction, but we've sent a patrol to investigate.
Never assume. Send another team to double check. Monarch and the army have their hands full saving the city. We don't want anyone sniffing around, do we?
Understood.
Good. I want regular updates.
This guy again. Seems like someone who would know where they keep Stacy.
You heard David, he made up his mind. We're going to follow Alan Jonah and question him about our daughter. And little do we know, 2 seconds later, we stumble in a room alone with him.
Are you certain? Tiamat's already here. Any reports on Godzilla? So be it. Do whatever it takes to protect the project. I will send additional men to the bay. Out.
Where's my daughter? What did you do to her?
It's you.
Let her go!
You seem to have something that belongs to me. That makes you a thief.
How about I give it back once you let my daughter go?
You don't keep anyone against their will. And I don't negotiate with thieves.
This was getting nowhere. Alan Jonah. I take it you've got the highest security clearance.
After snatching Alan's key card, we make our way out of the sewers, which marks the end of the spider chapter.
The bay Jonah talked about. Wonder what I'll find here.
We now enter the purple goop that burns you and hurts you lizard chapter. Here's the main menu for reference. Thought it was pretty cool, so I wanted to show it to you guys. From here, nothing much changes, apart from the fact that there's, purple goop everywhere that burns you. And instead of spiders attacking you, now it's little running lizard thingies. But then we meet Elaine chained to a pole.
I didn't take it.
I don't know what you're talking about, but I am definitely not here to hurt you.
Long story short, we free Elaine and she gives us a grappling hook in return, which means that we have access to more areas of the map to gather more bio-greeny thingies, to call more titans, to then end the game. The grappling hook is cool, but unfortunately you can't use it in combat, which was a bit disappointing. It would have been nice if you could maybe, snatch a gun from an enemy or even pull down a riot shield from someone. Anyways, after gathering enough of those green biosignal thingies, we call the last titan to help us clear the way to the bay.
That serpent is something else.
To be completely honest, at this point of the game, it did feel like it got pretty repetitive. It was pretty much the same thing. Running around, collecting those green biosignal thingies, completing more puzzles, clearing our path, and rinse and repeat, really. But I don't know, the game was really beautiful and there was a certain charm to it all. That being said, here's one of the last boss battles that we had to encounter. The Serpent Titan.
What the? Where did it come from? Huh?
You know, even if we don't actually fight the Titans and really run away from them, I really appreciated the cinematography of the entire fight. I did genuinely feel nervous when running away from those huge beasts. After some more puzzle solving, we get to a point where we're stuck and we need to call Kong for some help. This time, Kong seems friendly and calmer, and he extends his hand out so that we can climb on it, and he carries us to the other side of the river.
Kong. That was surreal. No one's going to believe me.
After some more cool animations, fighting, and puzzles, we reach the next checkpoint of the game.
Hello?
Come in.
I was just passing through. Thought I'd check if everything's all right. I don't want to sound weird, but you realize you're sitting in a half-destroyed building, don't you?
Oh dear, I've run my whole life. I don't want to run anymore. Just look around us. The Titans can strike any time, anywhere in the world. They are beyond our control. You know what I think? That I'm just as safe here as anywhere else. It's not that I've lost hope. I'm simply at peace with whatever happens next.
Now, I don't know about you guys, but I thought that was some Master Oogway level wisdom. The last part of the game has us call Kong one last time to clear our path to start an absolutely epic boss battle between him and the serpent. Now, the last part of the game is really just a way to tie the whole story together. If I'm honest, it felt a little bit rushed. We're told that after the elevator crashing from the bridge, David lost his backpack, so we don't have access to his gun, his weapon, or his grappling hook. And as we make our way through the secret base and try to go through some doors, we see that they close magically in front of us, as if someone is watching us. Quickly, it's revealed that Stacy, speaking to us over the speaker, is begging us to leave her alone to keep on working with Alan Jonah. Yes, she wasn't captive, she was willingly choosing to work with him. We still insist on seeing our daughter until we reach this final cutscene.
Why didn't you leave when you had a chance? This is it. You can join me, join us. And I promise everything will be okay.
Stacy.
Please, Dad.
Stace, I can't. I've seen what your work did to this city. This whole thing is out of control. It has to stop.
Just say yes.
I love you, Stacy. More than anything. But I will never sign up for this.
I've heard enough. Take the Orca Sigma from him.
You promised to let him go.
Under conditions that your father rejected.
Oh!
You! What have you done?
Lahara's destroyed the tank and is trying to escape into the sea.
To the subs, now!
What about...
Leave them.
I knew you'd make the right choice.
Choice. You left me no choice, Dad. I couldn't watch Alan kill you. That's all.
Say what you will about this game, but to me, the interactions with the Titans were really cool. In general, I thought the game was really pretty, and I encountered absolutely zero glitches, and I feel like that has to count for something, right? But all that being said, I do feel like the price tag of $25 is a bit steep for what it is. Still, I'd say that this game is a really good game, I had a lot of fun playing it, and I strongly encourage you guys to have a go at it. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe if you enjoyed, as it truly inspires me to make more videos for you guys, and I'll see you next time. Bye bye!